And here I'm coming at this from a parent who didn't do that very well.
Mm,
And I wish I had done it better. I wish I
yeah.
wouldn't have been so fearful of talking to them about it. I mean, you think
hmm
about it, it's a part of life.
Yeah.
And when you're young like that, your hormones you're
Yeah.
feeling everything.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Teen Talks. Today we are doing a Q&A. We have been asked a few questions and we're going to be answering them. We decided to pick up the few questions that were asked more frequently, and yeah, we'll just be answering them today. So let's get straight into it. Ready to go, Susan?
Okie dokie. I hope I can. Oh, God. I hope I can answer the questions. I'll try to put on my parenting hat. Here we go.
All right, let's go. Let's get straight into it. So, first question that I have here. What is the one thing parents can do to reconnect with their teens? I feel disconnected from my daughter and I'm scared of losing my relationship with her.
Hmm. Great question. And I'm sure it's asked a lot.
Mm,
I'm sure there's a lot of people that struggle with this.
yeah.
We've sort of talked about this before, but
Mm-hmm.
when you've lost connection, sometimes it might be your fault because maybe you pushed too hard or you didn't listen enough or whatever. But I would start by just saying, like, maybe take them somewhere if you can, somewhere fun, and then, or like for a special lunch or something, and just open up and say, hey, I feel like we're kind of separating and I miss the closeness we used to have when you were younger. I realize that maybe I didn't handle it as well now that I know that your needs are different. And I am so sorry for that. And I really hope that I I want you to tell me what I can do to help us connect. Maybe we can do something together, whatever, so we can connect again and bring back that relationship. And I think
Yeah.
you've got to apologize. You've got to acknowledge your piece in this. If you
Mm,
don't, I don't think you're ever going to make a connection.
yeah.
So,
Being vulnerable, right?
mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Being vulnerable is super important. I think like just opening up and just being honest and letting them know how you feel might also open up what they're feeling and can start rekindling that. And I also
And then when
feel
you
like,
ask that,
yeah,
when you ask what do you need from me, or what can I do, or how can we connect together? So
hmm
it's not just you, it's you're
yeah,
saying, I want your help.
yeah,
I'm not the, I'm not the authority. I'm wanting your help.
yeah. hmm And then listening, right? Listening is huge as well.
Mhm.
Listening to, 'cause you might not even realize they might actually be trying to connect with you in some way, but it's just not the way that you think, and you might not just be able to see the signals because they might be different and all that stuff. So just, I guess, pay attention for those things and sometimes just listen, try and understand where they're coming from, what they're saying, what they truly mean by what they're saying. And then if you are able to have that conversation where you're being vulnerable, just listen to them, listen to what they have to say, and
Yeah.
really take it in, like genuinely take it in and understand where they're coming from. I think that's key.
And then maybe, adding in confirmation that here's what I'm understanding you're saying. Is this what
Yeah.
you mean? Kind of so that they know you're actually receiving it in the way they want it heard,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And you don't have to fix everything, right? You don't feel like you have to fix everything.
Yeah.
Just the connection is the most important piece. And out of that, if you're a team player, almost like, put yourself in a position as you're on a team now,
Mm-hmm.
and you're no longer the one who's directing what's happening. You're on a team to come to solutions together, or, just have their back.
Yeah.
And they know you have their back, and you're not gonna like push, 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 or you're not gonna dun, 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 dun. You're gonna build a connection. But you gotta
Yeah.
show it, you gotta apologize, you gotta prove it, you gotta walk the talk.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
I just found out that my son has started dating someone. What should I do?
Hmm. Funny, because I didn't have a whole lot of this when they were teenagers. My kids
Mm,
didn't really have boyfriends and girlfriends till later. Um, what I would say is don't say any judgmental words about that person,
mhm,
right? Their heart is opening up to someone, and whether you like them or not, no judgment as far as that person goes.
yeah.
And you're probably going to have to put, it depends on the age, but you're probably going to have to put boundaries on it in some way. But if you, when you do boundaries, like, you, you don't want them. I mean, it depends on you. Some of you are going to be really loosey goosey with this, and some of you are going to be really tight. I would say don't be too tight, give them space, but also make sure that nothing's happening. And I hate to say this, but I just did a reel on this. Talk to them about sex,
Mm,
because once they have an interest in someone like this and they're saying girlfriend, boyfriend, hormones are going to start raging, things are going to happen. And whether they like it or not, something's going to come up and they're going to either have to say no or they're going to do anything, whatever. You need to have that conversation with them, as hard as it is. And here I'm coming at this from a parent who didn't do that very well.
mm,
And I wish I had done it better. I wish I
yeah.
wouldn't have been so fearful of talking to them about it. I mean, you think
Mhm,
about it, it's a part of life.
yeah.
And when you're young like that, your hormones are, you're
Yeah.
feeling everything. And so it's better that they have information from you than their friends or the internet or
Mhm,
whatever, or the person they're with, because they you don't know,
yeah.
they could be manipulating as well. So you want them to have the knowledge
Yeah.
and the boundary words to say, no, I'm not comfortable with this. I mean, all these
Mhm,
things need to be talked about.
yeah, for sure.
And so just try to like push, if it makes you nervous, say it in the beginning. Say, I have to talk to you about this. It's really hard for me, but we can do this.
Yeah.
Um, and then I would say invite the boyfriend or girlfriend over
Mhm,
and get to know them, and and make the home a good place for them to be,
yeah.
so that you can see them in action and you can see if there's any red flags,
Mm,
you know
yeah.
so
Susan, I actually have a question of my own just to piggyback off of this because I don't know what it's like to be a parent and then to see like my kid starting to develop a relationship with someone else that is romantic, I guess. But from my understanding of what these relationships are, I mean, for me at least, any type of romantic relationship is like powerful. It's, beautiful in some way because you're connecting with someone on a different level and stuff like that. And I guess my question to you is like, why is it such a big deal for parents? Like what is it that makes it so
ah
like because I see comments and questions all the time like and parents are worried. Like, oh my God, like I don't want my son or daughter or kid to be seeing anyone, you know? And I'm like, but why? Well, like what is it? Can you help me understand that?
yeah, that's a great question. I never felt that way, but some might feel like maybe it's because they lose control, or
Mm-hmm.
they're worried that that other person is going to hurt their child, or um have control over their child, maybe, and their decisions, and their values.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want them to get pregnant. That's one.
Yeah.
um that's another thing. Contraception. Talk to them about that.
Mm,
I would do it no matter what, because you may not want them to have sex. That may be your values,
yeah.
but that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
They're going to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
So it's better to have them have the stuff so they don't get pregnant or get diseases. Sorry, but it needs to be said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's why they're just afraid that, and they're afraid that they might want to get married or something or get too deep, or they're going to just
Mm.
take them away. I mean, that's what I like my son when he went, I mean, older, but when he went on his trip to Europe and he was gone for 2.5 months, I'm like, I'm just so afraid you're going to meet like some Spanish girl and you're never going to come back, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It was like
So
losing them too soon or something like that as well.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so, but like you said, though, it is a part of life, and
Mhm.
we have to be careful as parents. If we get too overbearing with all of that, we're going to lose them.
Yeah.
So don't get it's kind of like love your enemies. So like
Mm.
get as
Keep
close
your
as you
enemies
can
close.
to understanding who this person is, and kind of
Yeah.
seeing how their relationship is. And I tell you, the best way to do that is to bring them along,
Yeah.
invite them over, take them on trips, do all that stuff,
Mm.
and then you can see really how it's going.
Yeah. Keep your friends closer, your enemies closer, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep the
All right.
boyfriend or girlfriend close.
All right. So next question that we have here. Um, I know this sounds bad, but I feel overwhelmed and have no energy left to give to my kids. I'm not sure how to get out of this. Do you have any suggestions?
When you're raising kids, it's a lot of energy and you got a lot going on. I mean, as a parent, you're just trying to live your own life. And then on top of that, then you got to take your kids to activities. You have to make sure they're doing their homework. You got to deal with attitude. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. I would say that is normal,
Mm,
normal to feel overwhelmed and all that stuff. And I think that as they become teens, you control less. So go ahead and step back
yeah.
and take time for yourself.
Mm,
Plan it into your schedule if you have to. Mom's going to be gone at the spa, or mom's going for a walk, or whatever. Take that time to
yeah.
be on your own. Actually, when they become teens, that should give you more time. Although
Yeah.
if you still have little ones, but then not. But
Mm,
just know that they don't need you around 24/7 anymore.
yeah.
You can take time on your own. And you know what? When you do that, when you take care of yourself and they see you taking care of yourself, that is a great role model for them,
Mm,
so that they know that they're important enough to take care of themselves as well. They
yeah.
see you always taking care of them, always taking care of them, and you're just crumbling and you're stressed and all that stuff. They're going to be like, well, it's not important to take care of myself. Mom
Yeah.
doesn't do it. Mom takes care of everybody else, but not me or herself,
Mm,
you know?
yeah. Yeah, and also like if you just think about like as as you would anything in life, whether that's like your work, whether that's like I don't know, your kids in this situation, but anything, right? You always
Yeah.
need to have that balance because like in work, for example, if you do your work all the time for like 16 hours every single day, you're gonna experience burnout. You're
Yeah.
gonna experience stress, like it's gonna be
Yeah.
tough. It's gonna bear a lot of weight. And it's the same
Mhm.
thing I feel like in this situation, like you have to find that balance where yes, it is an important thing. Like you have to do it. It's your job almost
Yeah.
as a parent to, take care of these kids. But at the same time, in order to take care of them, you have to be able to take care of yourself and give yourself that time as well, right? Because like
Mhm.
find that balance that works for you. And it might be like once a week, just spending 2 to 3 hours just for yourself. Or it might be a
Yeah.
daily thing, right? Where every
Mhm.
day it's like 30 minutes every day, my time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess like find your balance as you would anything, with anything
Mhm.
in life. It's
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Mm,
Like, makes me think of when I had infants, right? So when they were little babies, and they always said, sleep when your baby sleeps,
yeah.
sleep. And it was like, I'd get them down at night and I'd stay up till like 2, 3 in the morning and watch my shows or whatever, because I was like, finally, nobody's up. but me,
Yeah.
and I can just have my own time. And I just, I don't know how I made up for it, but man, take that time for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because yesterday I'd gone out for dinner with my family and my sister's partner's family as well. And he has two older brothers. And like the oldest, so the eldest brother, he has two kids.
Mm.
And I think the two kids are like 3 years old or 2 years old and 1 year old, like they're like really young, right? And it was just chaotic. Like it was, and I was looking at them and like at the parents, and they were smiling and stuff, but you could kind of see like, it's tiring, takes a toll, right? Um,
Yeah, you're never in a whole conversation with someone. You're always doing,
yeah, it's always like, yeah, 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 and then like feeding the kids, making sure they're okay, like, but you can see it, firsthand, like how much work and effort it is, right? And that also made me think, like, in order for it to work, for it to be sustainable, for it to be healthy, there also has to be that time away. There has to be that step
yeah,
back, you
yeah.
know? Yeah, and I was talking
And
to
I'd
them
say,
about it too, and they said that it's exactly what it is. They need that sometimes.
and sometimes it's, if you have a spouse, then you say, you're on, I'm off.
Yeah,
We're switching.
yeah. Or
Have a strategy.
yeah, or you give
Yeah,
it to the grandparents, you give the kids to the
right.
grandparents. It's like, hey, date night,
Anything.
yeah, yeah,
Aunt and uncle, whoever you can find.
yeah. Find a babysitter. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um.
amazing when they become 16.
Mhm.
So when you don't have anybody under 16, and then you have a 16-year-old,
Yeah.
and they're the last one or the only one or whatever, and they can drive.
Mhm.
Hallelujah. Does that change your life? Because you know what? You want to still go to the games and all that stuff, but you don't have to
Yeah.
take them there so you can show up when it starts. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, yeah. Oh, changes your life.
Freedom.
Yep.
It actually, that question and what you just said, it leads into this other, I guess, statement. The statement is, I feel as my teen is changing, so am I. I care less. So tired of this teen attitude. What do you have to say to someone who's like going through that, Susan?
Yeah, well, I hear ya. I say that. Um, and you know what? We used to always say this, and I remember when my first one, and it was a boy too, and he was a great kid.
Yeah.
But I just remember this phrase was like, oh my gosh, God makes them that way so that you'll be okay to say, leave the nest to go to college, go do your thing. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, you'll never want them to leave, and you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but the other thing is, you're supposed to care less. I mean, not really care less, but you're supposed to be less to them. You're supposed
yeah.
to, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is your time to pull back and let them do. And
Mhm.
when they get the attitude, you just don't take it on. Don't take it personally, because it's normal. You think about all the stuff they're going through physically, mentally. I mean, their brains are not even formed yet. They're still like, all this is stuff that's happening, and you're the safest person in the room.
Yeah.
You're their safety, hopefully. And so it's, they're going to lash out at you because you're not going to, you're safe. You're not going to leave them. You're not going to,
Yeah.
so you just, take it with a grain of salt. Don't take it personally. Just understand that they're scared. They're going through a lot of stuff, and all you got to be is just be there.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then go ahead and step back,
Yeah.
you know,
I
or
mean, yeah, and worst case scenario, I mean, you do leave them. I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't do that. Don't do that. Keep going.
no.
Keep hanging on, It's important. They need
And
you. They
if
need you.
it, I think also, if you, instead of try to fix things or whatever, just go empathize. I can
Yeah.
see you're really upset right now. I get it.
Mm,
I understand. If you, I'm here for you. If you want to talk, you just want to hug, you want me to listen, whatever it is, I'm
yeah.
here for you.
Yeah.
I understand your attitude. I know you don't really mean it. And then just,
Yeah.
yep, it's
Yeah.
normal. Everything you're feeling is normal.
Yeah. Okay, last question.
Okay,
So
bring it on.
how do you as a parent handle rejection from your teenage daughters? So I guess in this situation, like, how do you handle rejection from your teens as a parent? What
And
do you do?
I think daughters is more common,
Yeah,
especially mothers and
maybe.
daughters, right? Um, re- rejection, I would, again, kind of like the other one, is that, don't take it personally.
Mm,
And in the teen years, like I said, their brains and stuff aren't fully developed. They're figuring it out. Their bodies are strange. They're just like all over the place.
yeah.
And their job of growing up is to start to pull away from you. It is start to hang out with their peers more. That's how they learn to do more
Hmm.
things on their own. And, they may not want to come with you to the family thing,
Yeah.
or, the things they used to love to do with you, it may not be their thing now. And it's
Hmm.
okay. That's okay. And that's the hardest part, I think, of being a parent is when, oh my gosh, you've poured all this love and time and attention into them
Yeah.
all the way up for so many years over, decade of time. And then all of a sudden they're just not wanting you as much or needing
Mm,
you as much. And it's hard.
yeah.
But if it didn't change, there would be something wrong.
Yeah.
So don't take it personally. Just know that it's normal. It's a part of being a teenager. It's a part of raising teens.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's hard.
So it's
It's
like
hard.
you almost have to have hope, right? And keep that faith that it's going to get better, that
Hmm.
they're just going through a phase right now. Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah. And if you have that connection, which we talked about in the first question or second question,
Hmm.
if you have that connection, then you have a base.
Yeah.
You're not losing them. They're just finding their way.
Hmm.
So, and if you have that base connection, they'll come back.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have the base connection because things happened,
Yeah.
go back to step whatever what I
Yeah.
said one or two questions ago. Apologize,
Mm,
open up, all that stuff.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And also like I feel from a teenager's perspective, like, you know, what what teenagers do is like they kind of seek attention in a weird way. So sometimes the rejection is also a way of letting you know, like, I want to be heard or I want to be seen more, you know?
that's a good point.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of like it's like a Uno reverse. Like they kind of flip it on you that way, and what they're doing is not representative of what they want.
Mhm.
And sometimes they'll also give you a little bit. They'll give you a little bit of something, you know, where they're opening up for just a little bit, and it's almost like you have to take that. You have to
Mm.
take it, either take it like use it as an opportunity to connect, reconnect, or just take it for what it is. But I guess it is one of those things where they're just experiencing their own thing, they're going through their own thing, and most of the time it's just not your fault. It just
Yeah.
isn't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the one thing too, I think we talked about this in a previous podcast, but is they want they're young. They want to win.
Yeah.
They're going to win. And so if beating you is how they're going to win, so
Yeah.
don't give them anything that they have to beat you on.
Yeah. No, it's true.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah. So true.
I think we just need to remember that the connection we have with our kiddos is the most important thing of all. And that we have to let go of our egos and having to be right and having to be in control, because that once they enter teen years, it doesn't work anymore.
Mm.
So you've got to relinquish control. You've got to relinquish the lecturing, and create a new, I don't mean like friends, but you sort of like friends, but with boundaries.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, ball
Mic
game change.
drop. Mic drop. Well, that was awesome. Well,
Now, if only I could have been this good when I was parenting my teens.
well, that's the beauty about this, right? You've been through it,
Yeah,
you've experienced it, and now you're looking back and thinking about all the things that you would have done differently with what you know now. And you're able to share
exactly.
that with all the parents of teens who are in it today.
Right.
So,
And the whole reason we're doing this is because you and I have a heart for teens, and that's who we
mhm,
want to help. And
yeah,
it starts with helping the parents to understand and make that connection
there
so
we
their
go.
child will have the best uh foundation, I guess,
Yeah,
to start to learn all the things that we are going to be teaching them
yeah,
so that they have the power to live their best life.
yeah. It's like
Right.
it's an interesting twist on helping you help them, pretty
Yep.
much, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Helping you help yourself so that you can help them. Um,
Exactly.
but yeah. Well, thank you all so much for
Yeah.
listening
Appreciate the
and watching.
questions.
Yeah.
And appreciate the questions. Please
Uh-huh, for
keep
sure.
sending
Send them over. Send them over. We're here.
them.
We're listening. But yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching. We are on Spotify now, so which is really exciting. We're really happy about that. And if you're listening to this on Spotify,
I,
hello to you.
I couldn't wait until that we got on Spotify and probably Apple pretty soon, and
Yeah.
Amazon, and there's a few more.
Yeah.
But because I don't watch videos.
Mm,
I'm a mom, I'm too busy, and I know most of our moms out there and dads, they don't sit down and watch videos like kids
yeah.
do.
Yeah,
We don't have time for that.
and YouTube, most people don't have YouTube Premium, right? Which allows you to just listen to the
The
episode like
PDF.
yeah, and turn off your phone. Like you have to. So
Yeah.
we were like, at some point you have to get it on Spotify. You have to get it on these listening platforms. So we're really
So
excited
very
about
excited
that.
because now we
Yeah.
hope you'll listen while you're driving and
Mm-hmm.
while you're doing your exercising. And like me, I listen to podcasts when I'm getting ready in the morning. I mean, my husband thinks I'm crazy because I listen to so many podcasts, but I find them fascinating. I like to learn every chance I can get.
There we go. There we go. So yeah, if you're on Spotify, then feel free to rate the podcast, if you're enjoying it and everything. You can even follow the podcast, which would be cool.
Mhm.
And then if you're on YouTube, of course, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And all of our information, you should be able to find it whether on Spotify or YouTube in the description. So go ahead, do that if you want to reach out to us or anything like that, then feel free to. And yeah, we will see you all next week.
Okay.
Take care, everyone. Bye.